All right, so we're gonna try this again. Um, Camera decided it doesn't want to work, so you get to just hear my dulcet tones as well as check out the whatever I share on the screen. So right now, getting back to what we were saying earlier in the previous broadcast, which I was trying to swap out cameras, and I think I broke this one. I don't know what happened, but um, so this Joe Garrison cat, he is. They're calling him Punisher, right? Um, but there's no Punisher but Frank Castle, hands down. Um, Now there was a guy, I think it was early '90s, named Nigel Higgins, and he was like UK's Punisher for a while. Um, and there's been other people who have kind of donned the what do you call it, the moniker, um, to do specific things and to bring punishment, I suppose. Um, hey, what's up? Hey, Devil's Air. Oh yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, don't sweat it. You're fine. He says, "Hi Zero, can't wait till I have the money to buy your comic. It just takes some time. Make these good doggos save the world." Yeah, well, that's certainly what I'm trying to do. Today, I was going to talk a little bit in light of all of this Punisher news. Um, I was going to talk a little bit, um, you know, some self promotion, right? Talk a little bit. And by the way, welcome. Thanks for coming in. It's always kind of hard for me to talk, sit here and talk by myself. Doubly hard today because there's nothing for you to see except for what's on my screen since my camera's not quite working. Um, but um, but anyway, so I'm and by the way, you might hear some little shuffling. Maybe I can get it to sound. But what I'm doing is I'm actually sorting trading cards, um, and it's for a game called Flesh and Blood. I used to play it, and then I got out of it, and then now I'm coming back into it. I got out of it so that I can get into comic books, but I'm only getting back into it because we've started um, selling this product at work now. So it's kind of like, okay, well, here we go again. But regardless, um, so yeah, I wanted to kind of promote my own version of the Punisher. Um, I call him the closer. He is, I mean, you could say on one hand, his motivation is very similar to that of Frank Castle's, but his how he arrived to those conclusions is, to me, it's much different. Um, yes, he did serve in military prior to becoming a beat cop, and then, um, and then eventually becoming a police detective. Um, but the the main focus of that book is, to me, you know, for the closer, is him getting revenge on um, the people in the department who caused him trouble. Um, and I don't want to. I think at this point, I don't really want to go too deep into how much, like, what kind of trouble. But essentially, the department of Epsilon City, at least we'll say this precinct, was like fully corrupt. And there were a few times in his career that, and he's the kind of guy who won't look the other way, even though he was warned and told, hey, I'd hate to see something happen to your family if you don't look the other way. Um, or some similar thing. I haven't, like, I don't want to reveal too much, but it in that vein, right? Well, lo and behold, his strength of character gets in the way of him not being so easily turned, and so he this one last case, he was told to kind of sign off on something, and he didn't. He followed through, and that kind of was almost like a third strike with the powers that be. And um, and then his straight edge son, right? And to those of you that don't know what straight edge is, it's like a sobriety movement, especially in the rock scene, like punk rock. And his son was straight edge, meaning he wouldn't, didn't touch drugs, didn't get into anything. And he followed this band pretty close called the Dead Skulls, and he years before, um, the closer, well, his name is Jake Bastion. Um, his wife and daughter died um, in a car accident, and so over the years he's developed a really good relationship with his son, a very close bond. And now that his son has turned up dead of an apparent overdose, he knows that that's not right. He knows that it's not true. He does. It doesn't take much for him to kind of dig in a little bit to realize that it was all, it was all a setup, frame up, and um, designed to look like an overdose, which did a few things. It was to kind of besmirch his reputation in the department as well as in the public view as a police detective. Um, but it also sent a clear signal to him that you didn't want to play ball. So these are your consequences. All right. So Devil's Air says, "Don't worry, I'm working on my own music thanks to the Iron Age. First song coming along slowly. Just really takes some time. Maybe a song for your characters later down the line if you're open for it." Well, yeah, I'm definitely open. And money is tight, especially when you're creating comic books. Um, because I'm not the artist, I'm still learning. I've got to pay artists to produce the art, and so um, fortunately, I've got one artist that I'm going to be working closely with on for the closer, and not only the closer, but also what else I have kind of coming down the pike. But in the meantime, Chrome Dog is, pages are coming out weekly for that. Of course, I can't share them all because it's what would be left to see when you get the book. But suffice to say that Luke is firmly ensconced as the artist on Chrome Dog, and then I've got Kevin McDougall on what else I'm working on, which it's going to be a black and white. I think Chrome Dog is likely going to be my only color title. That may change, but I would really like to do that. Um, yeah, I certainly hope you hope you can find that job. And as far as I remember, I think you live over in Europe. So good luck. Um, but yeah, with Detective Bastion, he finally he gets the hint. Um, and what he does is he actually turns in his badge, and then turns in his badge, turns in his issued gun, all that, the typical cop thing. He resigns and he leaves for a time, and then comes back with a vengeance, and you know basically uh, that's kind of how the story goes with him. But ultimately, he's gonna be, to me, maybe a little more, what's the word, a little more heroic version of what Frank was. I mean, yeah, Frank is definitely an anti-hero, and he certainly did care about innocence and not always being surgical with his strikes, to minimize uh, innocence casualties. um, so yeah, that is my, that's what I'm about. But getting back over here to Joe Garrison, this obvious shield agent. I guess to me, the first thing is this image of him just standing here. There's no dynamic, anything. He's non-threatening. I don't like. If I was to look at, like, this isn't even a 360 turnaround. Like, it's off center. I don't even know what they're doing with this image. I don't even think they know what they're doing at this point. Um, so it's time for us to step up and step out and make new heroes for people to care about, because they've pretty much squandered all the goodwill, all the good faith, and everything else that people have had, the fans have had. And it makes me sad. I mean, I see people online all the time, especially on Twitter, these people holding out hope that, and it's funny, fans, we have these ideas that are better on our own, these hopes and dreams that we have for these characters that no one at the studio would even care about putting into the book. But yet we cleave to these characters because this is modern myth making, and I think that's really what's at the heart of all of this. The studios have forgotten that these are our Greek legends. I mean, this is for our time. They're analogous to that stuff. And when you take that away from take those elements away, it's kind of like, well, what's left of the story except for you to browbeat me and tell me, in the words of Anthony Mackie's version of Captain Falcon, his Captain America, he says, "You can do better, Senator." That's all he did. It was a preaching moment. He just sat there and basically told a group of senators what they were doing wrong in the realm of international politics and all that stuff. And it's like, Captain America is not. There's too much talking. I mean, he fights, and he fights for what's right. Fights for the cause of America, or at least he did. And what they've turned him into is a pariah. I mean, I think if I was to say, that's essentially what all of these heroes are, to one extent or another, is a pariah, social pariah. And they make it seem like those of us who don't like what they're doing, oh, well, we're the bigots, or we're the, even though we were the original fans. And to those people that would say, politics don't belong in comics, well, I mean, I have to agree with what others have said on the topic. Politics have always been in comics, but in fiction, that's what we do. We discuss philosophy and we discuss politics without coming across as being a sermon. That's how you write something truly great. Not that I'm somebody in that regard. I'm no erudite author by any means. I certainly lack the pretension that most have, but I do enjoy the stories that I'm trying to create, and I do have subjects that I want to cover, and I want to make it compelling. I want people to enjoy what I'm writing. I want people to see what I have to say too, right? But it needs to come through in the emergent narrative, not through these big long monologues of one person blessing out somebody else. It's like, well, okay, I mean, even good novels don't do that. Yeah, you fill the whole page full of text, but good novels, you keep things short, concise, and you kind of tell a story in such a way that on the back end, it's kind of like, as the person reads the story, they get to the end, they're like, wow, that was a great story. And then it hits them. They're like, oh, wait, this story was about that. Oh, and they just kind of, have things to ponder, not, oh, but you're this horrible person for this type of thinking or whatever. Anyway, I could probably rant about that for a long time. Um, but yeah, currently we've got. Speaking of comic books that are current are actually being funded right now, I'm a part of a group of fellow creators. We have a book called Out of Obscurity. Um, there's let's see, we have 7 stories currently in that book. Um, Several are on the creative team. I will. Let me. How do I do that? There we go. Let's go. Let's look. Let's check them out, shall we? If I can get it to. Yeah, there we go. Out of Obscurity is right here. Boom. Wow. Type 1. That's so cool. I'm so glad to see Sean's book doing so well. But yeah, this is Out of Obscurity. So earlier it was at $666, and it looks like someone donated $1 just to get it over that line. So thanks to whoever did that. We've got a digital tier. There's a physical copy tier. That's nice. We got 14 backers. Fantastic. We got a t-shirt. Got a couple backers for that. No backers yet on the Bronze Terror t-shirt. This is a pinup that my artist Kevin McDougall did for he just kind of I told him about that I wanted to do my version of the Bronze Terror, which is this is our story here. Oh yeah, I can't really, but yeah, and he was so psyched to start drawing it that he just I don't know he felt inspired to draw a pinup, and so he showed it to me. I was like, man, here, let me pay you for that, because it's like, thank you, because I had a feeling I would probably be using it for some promotional material down the track, but yeah. And then we've got some commissions on here, which, by the way, I mean, this is something that is kind of cool that we're doing that we don't normally see on campaigns. Most people, or most of the campaigns, they'll have like maybe some original art, or they'll have like a sketch card available, or this or that. This is, these are full blown commissions. So if you want to get Luke Stone to do a piece for you for for the 175 plus shipping, if you wanted to get Kevin McDougall to do a piece for you at that price point, or Don Edwards, otherwise known as the Don, or Don Draws on Twitter. You just pick whichever artist you want to do a commission, and we can handle it right here through a through one of the oh man, that card's jacked. All right, right here through one of the rewards. So I mean, that's maybe it's, even though Don Draws, or Don Edwards, that hasn't contributed to this project that we're doing. The sheer fact that we're able to make him a part of it here, because he kind of put himself out there, willing to help anyone with their comic books, and get pretty much, he pretty much said he was down to clown for whatever. So here we are. So special thanks to him, and to Kevin for stepping up on that. But let's see. Maybe let's see. Let me stop sharing. And then here, how about this? Since I'm talking about it, and I completely messed up the other video that I started a while ago, which had this in the intro, I will go ahead and play this wonderful trailer. So we'll see you on the other side.
Get ready for an exhilarating journey into the boundless world of imagination. Welcome, comic book enthusiasts, to the extraordinary realm of Out of Obscurity. This groundbreaking anthology, published by Arrow Comics, unveils a legion of aspiring creators, each eager to leave their mark on the industry. Prepare to be captivated as they breathe new life into obscure public domain characters, creating their own unique tales within the pages of this awe-inspiring collection. Out of Obscurity is a testament to the unwavering passion and creative prowess of these emerging talents. They have meticulously resurrected forgotten heroes and heroines, spinning intricate yarns that span the ages. Brace yourself for action-packed battles, mind-bending mysteries, and heartwarming triumphs that will transport you to uncharted territories of excitement. By supporting our Fund My Comic campaign, you become an essential part of this historic endeavor. Together, we can catapult these aspiring creators towards their dreams of comic book glory. Join us on this epic odyssey and witness the birth of new legends. Your generous contributions will not only help us bring Out of Obscurity to life, but also grant you access to exclusive rewards, including remarkable artwork, signed copies, and behind-the-scene glimpses. Embrace the spirit of adventure, for within these pages, untold wonders await. Together, let us ignite the spark of greatness within these visionary talents and redefine the landscape of the comic book universe. Be a part of history and make Out of Obscurity a reality.
So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell on that campaign. Let's see. Let me share screen again. There we go. Yeah, so we've got stories. Got one from Hojo, and let's see, we got one from Hojo, art by Pat Miniuti, I think is his name. And of course, Luke he's on colors and letters on that one. We've got, and that's Korak, Son of Tarzan. The title of it's Law of the Jungle, and again, that's H. Wayne Desper, aka Hojo, of the Mythicals fame. Here we've got Ghost Story, which is actually a story about the original Ghost Rider from way back. This one's titled The Last Ride of Rex Fury, a story by S.A. Cooper, aka Telepathic Bunny. He's also got a currently funding, which I'll get into in a minute, campaign called Community Service. It's kind of an interesting looking book. And this is art by Mark Oliver, colors by Barbusco Studios, and letters Luke Stones. It would appear that I think aside from, let's see, Luke is pretty much doing like a lot of the lettering in this book. We'll just say, so maybe most. He's also our editor on the book. And so then we move on to the Bronze Terror, which is my story. Thunder Horse is the name that I'm giving my version of the Bronze Terror. So I'm mixing it up a little bit. It's not as traditional a tale as the original real American version of the Bronze Terror, because I actually plan on using Thunder Horse in my own universe. So I've got to, and because my universe doesn't exist on this planet, when I say my universe, that also includes Chrome Dogs, the whole Epsilon City, all of that. It's on a completely different planet. I have to kind of, I'm bringing him, like, this story is from, set in that universe, but it's action packed, and I can't wait for you guys to read it. But it's titled "May Justice Be Swift." Story by me, Justin K. Sweet, and then art is by Kevin McDougall, and then his son is actually a fledgling colorist himself, and so I had him get on the colors of this one, which we're actually pushing past some boundaries, doing some new stuff. I think the gutters having a certain affect I think it works really well. Um, but yeah, and then of course Luke Stone's going to be doing our lettering. Then we got super old guy. That's Jared Brickey of Frost Comics, and this one looks like a solid story. The art's by I don't know if it's Ibai, maybe Ibai Canales, and then colors by Tom Rapka. It looks like he's already got the letters from Joel Saavedra, so that's cool. And then we got the Puritan, which is a Solomon Kane story. Blackest Jungle. Um, oh wait, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Super old guy. A funny thing happened on the way to the checkout. So this is kind of an interesting take on Super Guy. Um, and then we've got the Blackest Jungle. Story by Matthew Fowler, and he's the Matthew Fowler of Tiger Blue, Psycho 66, or Seicho. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced. I think he also was behind Dixie Rose, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got some other things in the pipeline. But yeah, he's the stories by him, and then Howard Chin is on art. I'm pretty sure by art it also means lettering. So the Tower Time Forgot, that's a story by Aaron C., who is most notably at the moment, working to get the Immortal Rising campaign funded, which, I'm probably going to cover. I'll cover both of those campaigns in this stream, basically because I wasn't really going to do much promotion beyond Out of Obscurity, but since I don't have access to my camera and I can't show off what I'm doing with my hands, I can at least show you some campaigns today. That way you can kind of get excited with what we've got coming down the track, as they say. But yeah, story by Aaron C., art by Jose Garcia. Again, both of them, they're working on that Immortal Rising, so that's really cool. Glad to see it. Then we got The Clock Strikes. It's a story by R.J. Carter, which most of you would know of as Critical Blast. Of course, he's not the only one who works at Critical Blast, but he certainly is the man behind all of most of what goes on over there. I think he has a staff writer or two as well, but some good stuff. But he's doing this one with again, we've got Mark Oliver. So a while ago, I don't know if I brought it up, but Bunnies or S.A. Cooper, he's got Mark Oliver on his art. So some of us using the same artist across same talents and this and that. I really love. So in case you guys don't know, Arrow Comics. This is well, he's down here. There we go. His name is Spank the Monkey. Randy Zimmerman's brainchild from years ago. He's definitely our mascot at Arrow. So I just love this seeing Spank dressed like the old Daredevil. Which we can't even call him Daredevil anymore. We just I think most places you see him, he's called Devil or the Devil. I think the last time I saw him in a comic book was Dynamite's Project Superpowers. Very fun character. Not at all like, at least from what I could tell, not at all like Matt Murdock. Has little to nothing in common with him. He uses boomerangs, which I don't like. I don't know, and I think I could be wrong, but I think he's also a killer. So very pulpy in that aspect, or maybe noir to those of you out there who want to debate about it. We got different stretch goals coming up. Looks like 2400 get to add a new story. 3200 add commentary, so on and so forth. So but yeah, if you get a chance, check out the campaign. Uh, as Eric July says, get in where you fit in. If you want to, go back us on the digital, you can do that. You can back us on the physical, which I mean, that's the preferred method because you're able to, actually get the book in your hand. Give us feedback after reading it, if you'd be so kind, and all that jazz. So, so yeah, that is that campaign. So we're gonna come on over here, and we're gonna go. I guess we'll first look at community service, and I don't have his trailer downloaded, so I don't know how well it'll play. I guess we'll see. Oh, okay. So I guess the audio's not working. It's still a cool looking trailer. Um, hey, oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, Devils. Yeah, yeah. If I had it downloaded, I could I could show it. I'll try to do that. Um, Try to be a responsible host. Hey, old duck bacon, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. I just, me, I like to do these impromptu streams, um, and and all that jazz. My my camera's not working, so I'm just, you know, trying to make the most of it here today. I hope you're having a good day, Duck. I'm just over here sorting trading cards for a trading card game called Flesh and Blood. Um, Very nerdy, I mean, because that's how I roll. Guess you could say I'm quite the nerd. Um, hmm, yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's community service. This is Telepathic Bunny, aka S.A. Cooper. Um, this is his campaign. He's at 760 raised in 21 days. Looks like he's got 68 days to go. So hopefully we can get some love on this campaign out there. Let's see, we got artist writer signature. That I actually didn't offer that on my campaign. Um, yeah, I might do something later with that. We got a digital campaign. This files add-on, that's kind of cool. There's the book only. We've got the homage cover, the Iwo Jima. That's kind of cool, I guess. And that was Luke Stone. Maybe Luke Stone drew it, and then Mika colored it. Yeah, I like seeing animated GIFs. It's cool. But yeah, I don't want to go too far into the campaign, but it definitely looks really appealing. There, it's got all sorts of elements that are definitely in my wheelhouse when it comes to the government telling people what to do and trying to get people get superheroes registered and try to put the kibosh on power. That's the thing about the authorities. They hate it. They don't like to share power with the people in many cases. Duck Bacon says finally able to catch one. Oh well, yeah. Well, you're finally able to catch me on here because I let's see. The last time I streamed was might have been last Tuesday, maybe, or no, Tuesday before last. Yeah, I totally missed this past week. So yeah, you're not missing much. um, and I'm wanting to crank out videos, but I also want to do something that's unique to me, and so I have to put a lot more thought into it. And I've just to be quite honest, I've been very yeah, I agree. The art does look cool. Um, the thing is, my trying to understand who that is. Huh. Um, and of course, we got a 6 a.m. Sticker there. Swimsuit pinup calendar. Okay. I mean, hey, let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's see if we can't get some more backers for T-Buns. And then, as I promised, I guess we'll show Immortal Rising's campaign. Let's see. Love the search on here. Okay. Wait a minute. What? Wow, that's so funny. I said that I love it, and I'm not seeing Immortal Rising on it. Did I do something wrong here? Let's see. Of course, you guys can see some of the. I am, full disclosure, I am an administrator. I'm not seeing an Immortal Rising on Fund My Comic. That is bizarre to me. Okay. Rising, maybe? No. Huh. Well, I don't try to promote any of the like the pink or the green sites here. So, matter of fact, there is an update. I to those of you who haven't heard yet, what I did was I went ahead and shut down the in demand on Indiegogo because there wasn't anyone doing anything with it. And as far as backers kind of went down to zero over time. Plus I'd already gutted it. I kind of moved everything over to Fund My Comic, all the fun stuff. So, and in real life, I had to, we were transitioning banks and stuff. And so Indiegogo makes it very difficult to change your bank over. I mean, they were, to their credit, they were, responsive, and they certainly would have helped me do it. But I just didn't see the point because, I was already, I'm already over on Fund My Comic. I wanted to aggregate the results because I wanted people to see the full amount of how much we've raised between the two websites. So I just went ahead and shut it down. That just made all the sense to me in the world. And, so so you won't, I'm not promoting Indiegogo anymore. I will certainly be posting, updates and everything across all platforms. As we go along. Let's see here. Devil's Air says, the thing I see with American comics is that they share a lot of the same type of coloring and art style. That's just something I see now that I see so many. So that's the thing. When I first got into comic books, and actually when I first came back to comic books, for whatever reason, like I always kind of bypassed the black and white stuff, but now I prefer it. Especially when looking at black and whites from a person who knows what they're doing with it. I want to see if I can find something a little more entertaining um, than just that polygon. Maybe I can do an image search for the Punisher and see what happens. I should have save search on. Shouldn't have any problems. All right, so here's just kind of a look. I'm to those of you who don't know, I am a Punisher fan. I've got 2 tattoos that have his, bear his logo or variation of thereof. So I haven't done that for anyone else. So I appreciate Frank Castle. I think he's done New York City a good service. And I think to, you know the thing about Frank Castle is that he definitely went after the pushers, and always saw the addicts as, at least from what I understand, he always saw the addicts as victims. Um, and while I don't completely agree, because I think we all have addictive tendencies, and it just depends on where we channel it. But we also have a choice. We can choose to continue down the road, whichever road it is, or we can sober up, or make different choices and get ourselves away from those influences, be it the chemical or electronic or whatever, right? This is kind of a cool image, despite what it's connected to. Oh, well, that's kind of a cool image if it weren't Frank Castle. Now that's Frank Castle to me. This Thomas Jane, that's Frank Castle to me. But I know I'm skipping all over the place. Let me see if I can get back on track here. Black and white. So that's I feel like Chrome Dog is probably going to be my only color comic. I think all the other stuff that I want to do, well, I say Chrome Dog, I mean the story that's in Out of Obscurity is color. So I mean that's not for nothing, I guess. So I'm but that story alone, I think if I do anything else with Thunder Horse, the Bronze Terror, my version of him, he's going to show up in black and white from now on. But again, I don't know. I like the black and white, especially someone who does it well. And my friend Kevin McDougall does black and white exceptionally well. I'm very impressed with the way he handles it, because there are those who they don't handle it well at all. I think the lighting, a lot of times you'll see the faces or whatnot, they'll half shadow them in a way that just looks a little stilted. What is this? Oh, see that? No. Anytime they do corny stuff like that, I'm sorry, but War Machine, Frank Castle, I don't think so. It's like, come on. Anyway, I'm from Europe, so that is just my view. Well, I mean, your view is absolutely valid. But just remember that America, American comics, I mean, we the comic medium, was created here. And then moved outward, right? And so, but that's fine. I mean, without, of course, manga, it kind of sprung up on its own, over, and boy, I could probably talk about that too, because, manga and anime sprung out of, the, I hate to use the word literal, but the quite literal fallout of, what happened with Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So, I mean, you talk about a cultural, what do you call it? I forget I don't know. This was a cool comic. I remember reading this Punisher, The End. It was, yeah, I read it back in the day. I was a little disappointed because I wanted it to be another Steve Dillon piece, but because I like Steve Dillon. Honestly, from my perspective, there aren't enough channels just talking about comics. I really enjoy Sontag's stream where they talk about a specific comic or run. Okay, well, and I want to do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think for me, I don't want to spoil comics. Like I don't want to spoil what happens in them, but at the same time, maybe I would put in the title, hey, spoilers. But is that going to keep people from watching my show? I don't know. um, or watching my channel, videos, whatever. I do need to make videos though. Live streaming only is not the ticket. I've seen several around that do just that. They don't make any other video content, and I can see that their channels don't really do anything outside of that as far as numbers go. And I am trying to kind of build my own. I don't want to say following, but just I mean, just people who would know that I exist. Um, so maybe I guess it is a following. And in this world, we've got so many different people doing it. Doing so many different people doing so many different things that people don't know who's doing what, and I'm just. I have to say, I need to take a moment just to say that Chrome Dog, I'm very pleased and happy to be where I'm at with Chrome Dog on the numbers front. I appreciate every backer that has taken a chance with me. I look forward to getting the books in their hands and actually being able to have physical stock in my hand to take to a show, to actually go to a comic convention. I don't go to comic conventions usually outside of just going in because, I don't have anything to present, and it's kind of hard to say, hey, back me, hey, this is a physical show, but my comic doesn't quite exist yet, so, talk about awkward. This is kind of cool. Yeah, good old Frank, man. See, I like that. Like, this is Frank to me, right? The whole white glove, this one with the white gloves and the white boots and all that stuff. I thought, oh, it's just so. I'm sorry, but it's lame. It really is. Yeah, like this. Here's an old school Frank. No, man. That like my character, the closer, is not gonna have anything. He's not gonna look like that. Yeah. Let's see. If you ask me, I would start off easy with earlier books. There's enough content with that you wouldn't have to spoil. True. And I probably have some really obscure titles that people are like, what is that? Like, I definitely, it really, there was a comic company that kind of came and went within a matter of a year or two in the early 2000s that I just absolutely love. And I want to get all of the books that they have. That they actually were able to produce, and maybe even the ones that didn't come out fully or whatnot. I'd love to get my hands on them, but they were called Future Comics. Let me see if I can show. Punisher Warzone is one of my favorites to this day. Movie? Are you saying the Punisher Warzone movie with Ray Stevenson, or are you talking about the comic book run? I don't think I liked Warzone in the the Warzone comics as much as I liked the War Journal stuff. I definitely liked Welcome Back Frank, that Garth Ennis, where he kind of like brings him back, strips him down, and there's no micro. He's on his own again, and he's not doing any crazy supernatural stuff. Okay, comic, yeah. I had man, I'm still kicking myself. I did a purge years ago because I thought that I was never going to come back to comics, and money was tight, and we had a bunch of kids, and so I sold off like everything. Oh, I like this image here where we have all three of the film versions. So cool. Freaking Dolph Lundgren. Love it. Oh, what? What is this? Yeah, right. Okay. Tom Hardy. Yeah, doubt it. Um, yeah, good luck with that. Um, yeah, here we go. So we're gonna go Future Comics. Bob Layton. So Bob Layton was part of the projects. So this is let's see. Yeah, so Free Mind. I don't. Yeah, I do have this issue. Wait, that cover is different than what I have of number 4. I don't recognize that cover. I don't recognize that one either. Wait, yeah, I think I got that one. But anyway, yeah, this is Future Comics. Wow, okay. I thought it was gonna clear up for a sec. Come on. This metallic. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, so Metallics. This is a cool book. Very cool concept going on here. Comics first tag team superhero. I had no clue like what I was gonna get into, and then when I read the issue that I got, they actually did a free comic book day version of it, and I bought that at a local comic shop. And I was like, wow, man, I can't believe this is here. So I totally grabbed it. But I've got all the free minds, I think, that were released. That's a good book. Dave Michelini he's amazing as a writer. With Bob Layton and Dick Giordano, all good stuff. And I've covered it on my show before, but I'd like to do kind of a deep dive issue by issue on those in videos, I guess. Let me see. Punisher. You know what? I want to do an experiment here. Twitter, the closer. We'll go at just in case. I've never tried to do a search like this. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just gonna show that stuff. So if I go back to all, that's interesting. So I do remember the TV show called The Closer. Oh, so the at, gotcha. Maybe if I put Chrome Dog. Oh my gosh, so funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely big time enough to have nice. There it is. So hey, the Indiegogo shows up. That's funny. What is this? There was a band called Chrome Dog. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. Wow. What the heck? Ugh. Well, I don't know. I might have. That was weird. Yeah, really. Well, let's see. Try not to. Let me go to my profile, and we will go to replies. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, this is the logo for my version of the Punisher. I talked about it earlier, much earlier, before I had anyone pop into the chat. But this is actually the logo for the fictitious band, the Dead Skulls, and so the long and short of it is. Jake Bastian, who is, that's the Closer's real name. So his son was a massive fan of this band. And when his son died, he wound up wearing his son's t-shirt and adopting this logo as his own, as he wages his own war against a corrupt police department. So, yeah, thanks. I hand drew this. Like I was just messing around. I was inspired. When the news came out about everything that they did to Frank Castle in that last comic book, that the last Jason Aaron book, I was like, okay, that's it. I got to make my own. And so I was looking at a bunch of different logos, different skulls, and this and that, because I do like the elements of the skull on his chest. I think that that's a really cool thing to do with with a vigilante character like that, because it actually serves, normally it serves a really good purpose. um, and it's been brought up, even like Batman brings it up with the big yellow um, the big yellow bat on his chest. It provides a target for people to shoot at, so it keeps them from wanting to shoot his head, essentially. And so that's, and I think Frank Castle even brought that up a time or two in the comics, probably more than a time or two. But and so I like that as a theme. So I decided, well, Closer's going to have a skull on his chest, but the skull's going to be different. And the reason the X's are there, and I brought this up earlier, I think, is because when in the punk scene, when you're what's known as straight edge, you put X's on your hands. And straight edge means that you don't do drugs, you don't drink, and in some cases don't even smoke. Right. So, and so what they do is they put X's on their hands to show, like just on the back of their hands, to show that they're, usually that's like when you go into an all ages, like to an all ages show in a bar or a club, the bouncer will put X's on the back of your hands if you're underage, to show, that you cannot be served alcohol. And so that's what this skull logo is it's kind of like the two X's for the eyes. So yeah. Oh right, yeah, I forgot about that. There's a certain abstinence there. Yeah, there can be an abstinence element. um but so essentially, when his son actually is found as being overdosed, who his son was a straight edge kid himself. He knew that was, that something was up, and it didn't take him long as police detective to figure out, okay, that's it, there's corruption here, and I'm going to do something about it. And he falls back on his soldier skills from before he became a cop, even, and then and then we're off to the races. Especially in that first, I don't know how I want to handle the origin stuff. I'm one of those that wants to get right into the action and then kind of allude to or do flashbacks into a character's origin. I think too many times we have characters, we go straight into the origin. Sometimes it's ad nauseum. Like how many times do we have to see Spider-Man's origin or Superman's origin, or, at this point, Punisher. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, it's just about every comic book of the Punisher. And it kind of, I don't know, I guess for people who are jumping in, you kind of got to know what his motivation is, because he's, shooting people left and right. It would always bring up his family being dead. And I guess that's fine. It was always so heavy handed with it. There should have, and kind of like with Batman, where he's always talking about his parents being dead. I mean, there has to come a point where the hero does things, because things are what's right. It doesn't always have to go back to, oh, my family's dead, or oh, my parents were murdered when I was a kid. So, I don't know. I feel like to do otherwise, kind of insults the intelligence of your fans. But then again, maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why a vigilante hero like the Punisher can only last so long. Um, but I'm hoping, with the closer, I can get him to resonate with people, and they can enjoy him for what he is. And um, I don't plan on doing like entire issues. It's kind of like the next comic book issue that I want to produce outside of Chrome Dog is, I think it's going to be at least like two stories in one comic, both set in the rest of Epsilon City, or maybe three stories in it. I haven't decided yet, but I think it would be cool to do a 2-in-1, kind of like a Arrow Comics 2-in-1 comic, and just do it that way, and just see what hits. And people want to see more of one, then I'll give them some more of one. If they don't, then we'll sunset it for another time, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, we have reached our hour mark today, and I definitely appreciate you guys for popping in and indulging this old man as he's looking through his cards that he can't show you because his camera is jacked. So I get to figure out what's up with that, and hopefully I'll be able to see you guys here in the next couple days again. We'll see. But until next time, enjoy our wild America.